Hello, today I want to tell you about a really interesting model. It's made by Moondrop and model is named JIU. They had a similar model named JIU some time ago, and JIU was a single dynamic driver affordable model. This one is actually also single dynamic driver and it's also really affordable. Price is $25 or about this amount. I will add link to the AliExpress store in the description. But what makes this model different is that they combine it with USB digital to analog converter and digital signal processing to achieve even better results. I haven't tested JIU, but based on reviews they were pretty good. And Moondrop said that with this model they wanted to push boundaries of the affordable segment even further by using digital signal processing that allows to avoid some shortcomings typical for the budget models. So I'm not sure what the progress is here compared to JIU, but I must admit that it's a great idea for the affordable segment because you don't have to buy some dongle digital to analog converter or even an adapter. You basically plug it to every smartphone or something like that, laptop, I don't know, tablet, and you getting same reliable sound, which is pretty decent idea in my opinion. And also, of course, digital signal processing is yet another good idea. I'm saying for many years that actually DSP will be our future in the portable audio. We can see the basic signs of that coming, but we'll see more of that because it's like the best way to overcome the shortcomings of personal audio. But enough talks, probably let's have a closer look. As you can see, it's once again some anime girl. Great that this time it's without yogurt on it. And on the back side we have a pretty lot of information. So frequency response, and it's pretty close to the Harman curves or some similar target curve with bit elevated low frequencies. And here used zinc alloy as shells material, titanium plated diaphragm, some cool voice coil, and so on and so forth. So just consider that here used some good dynamic driver. And these numbers are also nice. And I must admit that definitely this package is much better than vast majority of models in this price tier. It opens with magnet. Here we've got earpieces themselves. Let's dive deeper. Also you'll get pretty decent for this price leather case, like looks like a good storage option for this model in my opinion. Some kind of package with polygraphy. I think it's some manual, but you know, I still wondering how it's possible to make this all for $25 and sell it with profit both for manufacturer and even for the resellers. It's something close to impossible for me. Next, let's see. Here we probably get tips. And what else? Oh, actually a pair of ear hooks. It's quite a long. I haven't seen ear hooks in the accessory set, but actually it's a good way to achieve good seal. And here are ear tips that also looks pretty great as far as I see. It's not some like absolutely cheap no-name silicone tips we've used to see. This one is made of softer silicone with slight stickiness. That means really good fit into ears, which is pretty nice idea for the cheap earphones to be used during commute or some active workout or something like that. And they are pretty comfortable. So accessory set, as you can see, is like beyond expectations for this segment. So let's see what we've got here. Pretty nice compact shells. They are just, created to be fit into almost any ear. So they naturally fit into your outer ear cavity, and they have pretty long spouts to provide good fit and pretty deep insertion. And actually all vent holes are on the inner side, so combined with this spout, it gives pretty decent sound isolation, slightly above average. With proper tips they are okay. So there are no ear hooks formed on the cable, so you'll need to fit it around your ears, and sometimes it's trying to get outwards, but actually you can either use ear hooks, or it's also splitter with this microphone block that pulls it down. But still it requires a bit of usage, so ear hooks formed on the cable would be nice here. Cable itself looks pretty decent. It's dark insulation, like barely transparent, and inside you can see multicolored wires, so looks pretty nice. It's really soft, so almost no microphonic effect. There is a microphone and volume control on it, and actually microphone is okay. It will be good for some short talk in not super noisy environment, especially if you move it closer to your mouth. It will be good to answer short call. But of course it's not a solution for the long calls, especially in the noisy environment. Then I don't know why they created this big splitter, and it's made of plastic, not like I expect metal, but I think plastic could have been a bit smaller. And then this cable goes down to the USB Type-C connector. As you can see, there is no replaceable cable in this case, but it's definitely won't fit into this price tire. Anyway, all external parts, in my opinion, are done really well. And of course about the sound, I've burned them in for 48 hours, not like I've expected some changes, I did it just in case, and in fact there were no changes. And most important thing here is to find the tips that will fit your ears best of all. For me it was the biggest tips in the accessory set, pretty comfortable with nice isolation and good for long listening sessions. Well, at least for me, because all ears are different. And I'm using UAPP because I use it with all external digital tonal converters. It gives better control, it gives bit perfect mode, and so on and so forth. So like a good thing to have it on board, really recommend it to everyone. And all interface is like so-so, but I used to it. In terms of sound, it's like typical Moondrop tuning, rather technical, with nicely built stage, without big accents, and compared to more expensive models, with slightly less focus on the micro contrast to make overall sound signature more relaxed and enjoyable. So, bass go to almost maximum depth, it's slightly accented, but actually it's not a big accent, so it's not the model for those who used to like average V-shaped tuning, typical for the affordable segment. It's slightly below in terms of level, but at the same time it's slightly better in terms of refinement. Of course it's lacking for that tiny small nuances and details that gives that sense of realism, and it doesn't deliver skull-crushing punches, but at the same time it's natural, well-refined, pleasant, low frequencies. Good texturing, nice sense of realism for the instruments, so like what I like, it's present here. And taking into account the budget segment, it's nice, to have counterweight, because usually in this segment I met 2 tunings, or classical, actually 3 tunings, like totally bassy ones, I don't count them, like where we have only bass and the rest is like forgotten. Also we can have some V-shaped signature with more like mighty and meaty bass, and accented treble to compensate it, but it's of course fun but pretty colored signature. And third option is like mid and treble centered models that lacking bass, so this one is somewhere in between of V-shaped and bassless models, giving nice and solid foundation, but at the same time not trying to crush you with low frequencies. So to my taste it suits more for some like non-electronic, non-pop music, but at the same time if something is recorded pretty well, you also can enjoy listening them, especially well-recorded pop music. And first example, it's Julienne Taylor Toybox. It's like typical audiophilic record with all frequencies good, with everything really accurately recorded and including bass. So we've got natural acoustic bass here, and it's rendered pretty well. Compared to more expensive models, of course, we can complain about lacking nuances, details and so on, but like for $25 it's not even worth complaining about everything. Good sense of realism, and both for bass and mid and treble frequencies. Mid frequencies are natural with normal detalization, not like this model is trying to be super high detailed. For that Moondrop has more expensive models. Instead you're getting like very nice balanced signature with good dynamics, nice emotions representation, proper weight distribution, not super critical, and at the same time pretty forgiving for the quality of record. Of course better material will still sound better, but in this case it's trying to like reduce a little bit issues with record quality, so they sound lively and enjoyable all the time. This type of representation sometimes referred as organic, sometimes as analog or something like that. Imaginary stage is slightly above average in width and slightly below average in depth, but at least it's built accurately with proper size of instruments. It doesn't build like super expanded airy stage with all nuances of room where a track was recorded, but still it's okay to give you good sense of presence. Example for the mid frequencies will be Raymond Daveluy, and it's classical Bach Toccata and Fugue in D minor from the audiophile analog collection. Actually, you know, this track is compressed in some weird format, and no other player can play it except of UAPP. UAPP deals with it really well, and as the name suggests, it's like absolutely perfectly recorded things. Well, Nagra is kind of hinting you about the quality, and this is a good record of classical organ masterpiece. Of course, comparing to some expensive earphones, you will be lacking stage, presence and so on, but you know, I was surprised with a good amount of that overtones and after sound that these earphones deliver, because they are really good in rendering this might of organ, and they good in delivering that sustained notes and that slight sound that stays after decay, and really pleasant impression. Of course, without comparing with like $100+ model, but probably it's surprisingly good for this track in this price segment. And the treble, it's really nice. It's slightly accented but not too much, and it's really even without some harsh spikes or some drops, like really even, and because of that sounds accurate. At the same time it's present, it has good detalization, nice overtone saturation, but at the same time it's not sounding like some additional energy was put in the treble area or something like that. So you're getting nice performance for the treble, Extension is above average, which is also a good surprise for this price tier. No rich overtone saturation, typical for more expensive models, and layering, but basic overtones are present here, giving you a good sense of realism for the timbre-rich instruments, vocals, and so on. And at the same time, to my ears, they are comfortable. They're not being shouty, sibilant, or something like that. But it's just my subjective experience, because I'm kind of less sensitive to the sharp treble. I hear that, but I can live with this, so I'm not super treble sensitive person. And example here is David Roth from another audiophile compilation, Rise We Will. And actually you see that I've selected 3 really complex tracks to showcase this model, because they are definitely well tuned to suit such types of records. Of course, they're lacking a lot of things compared to more expensive models, and more expensive models will deliver that much better, but still good results for this $25. And here in Rise We Will, it's another really well recorded audiophilic thing, with a lot of overtones and with vocal that goes with overtones to the high frequency area, and this model delivers that basic overtones nicely. Of course, with layering and more extension in the treble, it will sound much more realistic, but let's not forget that we're speaking about budget segment here. I won't be doing compressions this time, mainly because this model stays different to any other model in this budget segment, with that sense of organic and balanced natural tuning. Usually, I already said that we're getting a bit another tuning. And also because they have their own digital tonal converter, so it won't be honest to compare with 2 models without it, because a lot of things will depend on their own digital tonal converters. So if you're looking for all-in-one solution, like model that doesn't sound too colored, but at the same time doesn't sound too dull, with good technical performance, with nice balanced tuning, and already ready for the modern USB Type-C sources, it's a great option to consider. And taking into account that price is also pretty low, it can be like on-the-go model or something like that. I really recommend you to try this model. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.